Reapers are still out there.
And it's up to us to stop them.
The Council will never trust Cerberus. They'll never accept our help, even after everything humanity has accomplished. But Shepard, they'll follow him. He's a hero, a bloody icon. But he's just one man. If we lose Shepard, humanity might well follow.
Then see to it that we don't lose him.
Yes, we're back with another look at Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Welcome, I'm Richter Von Doom, and today we'll be covering everyone's favorite in the franchise, Mass Effect 2. The intro to Mass Effect 2 is as symbolic as it is important to the plot. As Shepard gets spaced and the Normandy destroyed, so does every single system from Mass Effect 1. This is a good thing though, because like Shepard being resurrected by the Lazarus Project, so does Mass Effect 2. And they both come back strong and swing for the fences in a complete overhaul. And the remaster improves upon that even more. Some for a far more streamlined package, and some for a better gameplay experience. But that comes at the cost of having a tiny pool of weapon choice, a bare bones skill system, and a plot that, well, could basically be a subplot. But it comes with all the DLC, including the weapon and the armor packs, the extra companions, the Shadow Broker, the Arrival DLC. But right now, let's jump right into it and how everyone is right about Mass Effect 2 and how all of that only got improved. Now again, everything being in 4K is just mind-blowing. The remaster of Mass Effect 1 might take the cake when it comes to overall upgrades, but Mass Effect 2 definitely beats it in a brawl for ambiance, aesthetic, lighting, shadow, and textures. These improvements stood out more in Mass Effect 1, but you can really, I guess, appreciate more of the texture and the lighting details in Mass Effect 2. But where it really shines is in motion. The combat is fast, chaotic, and the game runs perfectly the whole time. And it looks gorgeous while doing it. From the moment you are granted control of Shepard, the responsiveness of your movements are snappy and smooth, and it looks good even during cover transitions. And the remaster doesn't skip a beat when I was running it at 144 frames. The dialogue scenes were always amazing, but now with the upgrade, they're even better. Before I knew it, I was sucked right in again, and I just wanted to know everything just because the scenes were incredibly engaging and immersive. No other game can even compete in this weight class when it comes to dialogue in Mass Effect. And I stand by that statement. The new lighting, and of course the upgraded textures, had me convinced I was playing a modern game. I can't say enough about how great Mass Effect looked when it first came out, and now it just looks even better. Combat is one of the biggest things people point to when it comes to what was improved in Mass Effect 2, and reasonably so. Even comparing it to the upgrade in Mass Effect 1, the combat is still one of the stars of the show. And the remaster doesn't change much, but it does tweak some things. With the addition of thermal clips, the original had encounters that left you starving for ammo, and although they have improved it, ammo was pretty plentiful for most of the game. I had a couple encounters where I was completely starved for ammo for multiple engagements, consistently, relying solely on powers and companions alone just to survive. This made me playing on insanity even more insane. And it wasn't like I wasn't looking for the clips or a fight that lasted a while and I wasted my ammo. They were each fight, run out of ammo near the end, finish the fight, find no ammo, start a new fight, win with powers, no ammo, start another fight, win, and I have no ammo again. Those might be tied to those missions specifically, because the rest of the game the ammo did feel fine, even if overabundant. They've also increased the amount of cover in some areas that tend to go unnoticed, which is actually a good thing. They help out previous over-challenging encounters with an asset that just feels and looks seamless, so much so that I actually had to go back and look at clips to see what they changed. This goes double for some fights where they took away from or even just tightened up. I even got confused at times because I remembered that I used to be able to access this area, and now that I can't, I turned around and I realized they pretty much changed the entire room. I don't know if they upped the ammo drop for heavy weapons, but it sure felt like I used them all the time, and yet I always had more to spare. This was actually always one of my biggest gripes about Mass Effect 2. Some of the heavy weapons made some well-designed encounters, well, pointless because I can just nuke the boss and win. The other gripe I have is once you get the Matic, you don't really need any other weapon. Not that you have much choice in that area anyways, because they cut all the weapons and the armor and the upgrades. It always felt jarring coming directly from Mass Effect 1 right into Mass Effect 2 and seeing the lack of customization. And now in the modern era, it just seems even more evident. It's almost like they picked 10 weapons and said, let's go. Then they added nukes, flamethrowers, and some singularity guns. The RPG action hybrid that was Mass Effect 1 is completely gone. And now with the lack of, well, everything, it really can be played just like any other action game. And this is the one thing I hated about Mass Effect 2, even though the combat was improved. But let's transition right into the others. I can already hear the keyboards clicking, but before you comment and let me know how wrong I am, hear me out. And now that everyone has access to the DLC, it feels really weird to have Shepard go on a solo mission in the middle of his suicide mission. The Arrival DLC being available so early felt really out of place. Maybe I shouldn't have accessed it so early, but I've been known to be my own enemy, and trust me, that guy's a and I'm not dogging on the DLC, I actually really like it. It's one of my favorites. I feel like they could have stretched it out even more for it to be the main plot of Mass Effect 2, considering the start of Mass Effect 3 has Shepard answering for his crime for sending a frickin' asteroid into a Mass Effect relay, destroying the entire system and killing hundreds of thousands of people. Instead of, the collectors taking humans to make a human Reaper that doesn't even look like other Reapers, that is half built yet is fully functioning. It just doesn't make sense. People talk about the ending of Mass Effect 3 a lot. And yeah, I get it, it's well deserved. But they forget the atrocity that was at the end of 2. It actually is worse, considering the fight and the suicide mission up to that point are probably the best. No, they are the best in the entire franchise. Storming the collector base, fighting through waves of harbingers and scions, bubbling through the swarm, making the right choices for your team and have everyone survive or die depending on your choices. It's what Mass Effect is always about. That game should have ended right after we blew up those stupid tanks holding the Mecha Shep, not this weird fight of just taking cover and shooting the giant Sheptron in his frickin' eyes. That doesn't piss you off, but a Deus Ex Machina does? I mean, I get it. I understand that it's definitely important, but it shouldn't have been the focus. A mission after that to hijacking an asteroid to slow the arrival of the Reapers after we discover some info about it inside the collector base sounds like a lot better ending to me. Considering that mission even starts with a timer telling you the Reapers arrive in 2 days. The pressure is already there, and the payoff was a lot better. A loss now, but a win later. So after I beat the Arrival DLC, I was like, alright, we did it. I won. I slowed down the Reapers. The Shadow Broker DLC is, even though out of place, I highly recommend you should do right away. Because after you complete it, you are granted access to investment opportunities, locations of mineral-heavy planets, the ability to respec your companions. You can receive random shipments that include minerals and upgrades, and getting access to all this will just make the rest of the game that much easier. Now for the DLC companions. Zaid has seen a nice upgrade. he looks nice. He looks really nice. But it's still Zaid. His loyalty mission isn't very good, or is his power set, or is his character. The dude just sucks. So those that felt left out, don't worry. His new look is nice. He just really feels out of place on the Normandy. Kasumi, however, easily one of the best companions in the game, if not the entire franchise. We don't get much time with her, but Rapid Shadow Strike is OP. Her loyalty mission is one of my favorites, and she's one of the only good human companions in the entire trilogy. So I'm glad that everyone gets access to her now. And of course, the armor and weapons are all there. They're just now off for purchase across the shops on the Citadel, Omega, Ilium, and Tuchanka. So Mass Effect 2 still has the best, unique, and compelling companions in the entire franchise. From a tank-bred Krogan, a galactic cat burglar, a dying assassin, a sorry version of Batman, a mad professor, a consensus of the entire Geth species, a Quarian who created said species that overthrew their creators and left them homeless, the psychotic biotic, the genetically altered perfect woman, and everyone's BFF, our personal guardian, Archangel. Wow, that's a lot, and I didn't even cover them all. I left the boring ones out, well, on purpose. So Mass Effect 2 is great, and the Legendary Edition, of course, improved all of that. The peek behind the door of the underbelly of the galaxy and how outside of console space works, the lore drop and the world building are the best in the franchise. Everything that was great about Mass Effect 1 got raised in the sequel. It did trim too much fat with the weapons, companion armors, and upgrades for all of that, and the skills respectively. And the plot still sucks, and the lack of choice in weapons and armor was and is still a huge bummer. The companions, their stories, and the combat still carry the game, but the Legendary Edition took what was already a great game, gave it a nice spit and polish, tightened up a lot of the engagements, yet it still managed to keep that rebel feel and look while keeping it in pace with its siblings. Stay tuned for the look at the beat-down brother with a heart of gold of the franchise, and my personal favorite, Mass Effect 3, coming very soon. Thank you all again for watching. See you next time.